All right, we need to talk about something heavy, but it's absolutely essential. We're going to break down the alarming state of conflict around the world. And then, and this is the important part, we're going to bring it right back to you and talk about practical steps you can actually take to be prepared.
Wow, that's a pretty intense way to kick things off, right? But it cuts straight to the point. It makes you stop thinking about global conflict as some headline on the news and start thinking about it in very real, very personal terms.
And look, that quote, it's not just some philosophical musings. This number, 59, that's the number of active conflicts between nations happening right now. According to the Global Peace Index, that is the most we have seen at any single time since the end of World War II. Think about that for a second.
So how do we even get here? To really get a handle on it, let's start with the big picture. First up, a world on edge. We're going to look at the data that shows the trends that have been building for a while now. This chart, wow, it really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? According to the Vision of Humanity report, the world has actually gotten less peaceful every single year since 2014. Just last year, 97 countries got worse. This wasn't some sudden shock. It's been a slow, steady slide into a much more dangerous world.
And it's not like all this tension is just in one place. Take a look at this list from the International Crisis Group. You've got the war in Ukraine, you've got the pressure cooker of US-China tensions over Taiwan, the entire Middle East, border clashes in Asia, massive instability across Africa, even military buildups in South America. It's a global web where pulling one string over here could unravel something way over there.
Okay, so all these individual hotspots are symptoms of something bigger. To really get what's happening, especially between the US and China, we gotta look at history. So, next up, we're gonna explore this idea called the Thucydides Trap and what happens when giants clash.
So what is the Thucydides Trap?
Well, it's a term that comes from the ancient Greek historian who noticed something. He saw that the war between Athens and Sparta was basically inevitable because Athens was rising, and Sparta, the ruling power, was afraid of it. It's this deadly pattern, and it's the go-to framework for understanding the tension between the US and China right now.
And here's why that term should give you chills. In the last 500 years, this exact situation has happened 16 times. Out of those 16 times, a whopping 12 of them ended in war. That's a 75% chance. History is screaming at us that when this dynamic happens, the path of least resistance, unfortunately, often leads to a major conflict.
So guess what? Right now, we are living through what experts are calling the 17th case of this trap. You have the ruling power, the US, trying to hold on to its spot at the top, and you have the rising power, China, who wants what it feels is its rightful place in the world. It's a textbook setup for a dangerous collision.
Okay, I know. This is a lot, it's huge, global stuff, and it can feel, well, pretty overwhelming, right? So let's bring it all the way back down to earth. Faced with all this, what can you or I or any of us actually do about it?
And that's where we pivot. This next part is all about what we can actually control. We're going to build your preparedness playbook. This is all about moving from a state of paranoia to a place of practicality. It's not about being a doomsday prepper, it's just about using common sense for any kind of disruption. It all starts right here, with a plan. Not a 50-page document, just a basic strategy for you and your family. This isn't about feeding fear. It's about empowering yourself, taking back a little bit of control in a world that feels pretty out of control sometimes. And look, the process isn't some crazy complex thing. Experts break it down into 4 really simple, manageable steps. Step 1, just figure out what the likely risks are where you live. 2, make a simple plan with your family. 3, start putting your kit together. And 4, just look at it once in a while to keep it fresh. That's it.
So let's talk supplies. The magic number everyone aims for is about 2 weeks of being self-sufficient. For water, that's roughly 15 gallons for each person. For food, about 23,000 calories. And you do not need to buy weird survival food. Just use the first-in, first-out method. Every time you go grocery shopping, just buy a few extra cans of soup or beans that you already eat. Put the new stuff in the back of the pantry and rotate the older stuff to the front. Simple.
All right, next up, light and communication. What happens when the power goes out? Headlamps are fantastic because they keep your hands free. You absolutely need an emergency radio, one that's hand crank or solar, to get news when the internet is down. And of course, batteries, power banks, and a physical list of phone numbers. Because let's be honest, who has numbers memorized anymore? Your phone could be totally dead.
And don't forget about money, because when the grid goes down, your debit card is just a piece of plastic. ATMs won't work.
So it's really smart to have some cash, especially small bills. Some people also look into things that hold value no matter what, like gold or silver, or even just practical things you could trade, like batteries, booze, or coffee. Now, having this stuff is half the battle. The other half is knowing what to do when things actually go down.
Which brings us to our last and maybe most important section, staying safe, staying sane. You've got your plan, you've got your supplies. A major disaster hits. What is the single most important thing you need to do in those first critical moments?
The answer, hands down, is shelter. In almost any major emergency, your #1 job is to get inside a safe structure and protect yourself from whatever is outside. The official guidance is crystal clear. The best first move is to get inside the most solid building you can find, and you stay put until the authorities tell you it's safe. Seriously, if you forget everything else we've talked about, please remember this one phrase. It's the core message from emergency planners for a very good reason. Get inside, stay tuned. It is simple, it's easy to remember, and it is the one thing that could literally save your life by shielding you from immediate dangers like fallout.
And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? Getting prepared is smart. It's a rational, powerful thing to do for yourself and your family. But it also makes you wonder about the bigger picture. The real question we're left with is this. Is the goal just to get better at surviving the storm? Or should we also be working to build a world where we don't have to live in fear of the storm in the first place? That's definitely something to think about.